Welcome. In the next step, I will explain you how you can build up, based on your transactional data, the customer and the product data, specific reports by click and drop using the Price Analyzer standard functionality. In the Price Analyzer, we build up so-called data marts. Data marts are a merge between your product data, your customer data, and your transactional data. So it's like a huge table containing all of the necessary information to base your afterwards analytics on. In the Price Analyzer, there are various different chart types which you can configure by click and drop using the standard functionality of PriceFX. So for example, if you want to generate a bar and line chart, the first thing is first thing you have to do is you can define a chart title. The next step is defining which kind of data you want to analyze, so your standard sales data enriched with product and with customer data. You can define if you want to analyze one specific product, or do you want to analyze a specific product bundle or shopping basket, so to say. You can also select which kind of value you want to see on the x-axis. So in this case, as we want to analyze the sales rep performance, we want to see the salesperson on the x-axis, and on the y-axis we want to see maybe the gross margin. But not the gross margin absolute, but we want to see it on a per unit sold base. We want to see this as bar, or maybe we want to see it as a line, and we want to see maybe a box plot included into this chart. Having the specification made on the left side, we can refresh our chart and we can build up a standard chart in PriceFX, showing us which sales reps are actually selling this specific item and who's selling it with in general, which sales rep is selling this specific item, who's selling it with an average higher gross margin in absolute way, as well as with a certain spread. And the same information is for sure available on a more granular basis. So if we don't want to look on one specific product, but we want to see on all products sold, we can also analyze these data in detail by removing the product filter on the left side and showing in general who's selling products with a higher profitability as others. So for example, the sales rep is achieving per product sold around 11 euros in gross margin, which can be linked to either his product mix or his negotiational power. But also other charts can be generated by click and drop. So for example, we can generate a heat map showing, based on our transactional data, in which country we are actually performing with which kind of product class, based on, for example, again, our gross margin, which we are achieving in various different countries. After making the selection on the left side, we can refresh this chart and we can see with which customer class, in which country we are producing an average higher gross margin per product sold. And we can also analyze this, for example, by other dimensions. So if we don't want to look on a customer dimension, but maybe we want to look on a product dimension, so maybe checking for focus products, we can also change this, and we can see this chart selected by focus articles, which are achieving a higher profitability than products which are no focus products. Also, other charts are possible. So for example, a waterfall can be generated by yourself, but also a waterfall comparison, which we have seen in the first section of the Insights Analytics package. We can build up detailed time series to show how information is changing over time. The same with time series in general, scatter plots, as well as pie charts. What is also possible is, if we have generated a pie chart in the past, we can load this and we can also share it with colleagues. So building up a pie, in this case it's scatter plot, can show us, for example, in which quantity was sold for which specific gross margin in which country to which specific customer group. In this situation, we also see a trend line, which is an exponential one, which is visualized here in a red format, as well as added with a formula on top. For sure, the same functionality which you have seen in the dashboards is also applicable here. So all this information here can be zoomed in. And also PriceFX is offering a predefined possibility of drilling down information. So let's say we want to analyze this specific dot in detail. we see there's a specific quantity which is sold to an average gross margin in the UK to one specific customer group. Let's say we want to see which kind of products were sold in there. Pricefx has the possibility to drill down these kind of products by product ID, and now seeing which kind of products were actually sold to these various different customer groups by changing the dimension from country, as we are just looking on UK customers, to the product ID, and we can analyze outliers in detail, and we can also analyze top performance in detail. This functionality is available across all these different visualization possibilities. So box plots can be generated, bubble charts can be generated. This is like a pivot table kind of visualization way. Heat map we have seen, as well as a histogram, which we have seen in the Insights accelerators. And all of these charts can be built up based on your own data, be generated by click and drop based on an open tutorial, which you can find on the Pricefx universe. As mentioned initially, you can save these charts and you can load these charts so you can share them with colleagues, and you can also download the information which you see here visualized in an Excel format and use an offline possibility for additional reporting purposes, or by adding this information which you can download to XLS and basically including this in an offline reporting which you are doing in a routine, for example. That's it for the standard functionality of building up reports by click and drop. In the next session, I will talk about the price builder and the possibilities of generating price lists and putting them into a revision based on adjustment of input information or of parameters. Well, looking forward to hear you then.